Back in the early 20th century, computer wasn't a machine that you kept on your desk. It was actually your job title. Imagine sitting at the desk for 8 hours a day, calculating trajectories or interest rates entirely by your hand. And honestly, it was a good job. It was stable work. And then, almost overnight, it was all gone. The electronic computers arrived, and at the same time, they appeared to be the perfect solution. And why not? They could do the calculations 1,000 times faster without needing a coffee break and without making mathematical errors. And just like that, human computers vanished. Looking back, we are grateful that the computer was invented, and since then, it has led to the birth of many wonderful things. But back then, it gripped many people with fear. The assumption was simple: if a machine can do the math, we don't need humans. The job of the human computer would be erased, and mass unemployment would follow. But that is not what happened. Instead of disappearing, the number of people working in computation exploded. The human computers didn't just leave, many of them developed new skills. They became the first programmers. The machine didn't replace the work, it expanded the scale of what was possible. Just look at Britain during the first industrial revolution. Over 250,000 handloom weavers lost their jobs because their skills could not compete with power looms. It happened again in the US as technology advanced. Farming shared 3.6 million jobs. That's a massive 42% drop in the entire agricultural workforce. If you were a farmer in the 1950s or weaver in 1800, you felt like the world was ending. But here is the paradox. A typical farmer in the 1900s could feed about 7 people, but by 2000, thanks to mechanization, the same farmer could feed roughly about 150 people. So, if the shift in jobs and the change in demands is nothing new, then why the sudden panic? Why are we reacting like something has suddenly changed? Well, in the past, automation largely came for physical jobs. But for the fourth revolution, as Jerry Kaplan very well puts it, it is blind to the color of your collar. It writes the code, it handles customer complaints, it drafts contracts, it analyzes financial reports, it even tutors students. It doesn't sleep. It goes on and on. It doesn't slow down at all. And every month, it only gets better. And if you look at the headlines from 2024 and 2025, it would feel like the bloodbath has already begun. The tech industry is bleeding. So many workers have been already laid off. And unlike the dot-com bubble or the 2008 crash, this is happening while the companies are still immensely profitable. So, the question that everyone is asking, is this it? Is this the moment where the machines replace the humans completely? Or this is just another shift, another electronic computer moment that we are all misunderstanding. So to understand why this is all happening, we have to look at two very important concepts here. The first one is the economy and the second is technology. And the first one, which is the economy, has nothing to do with AI. For roughly a decade, money was essentially free. Interest rates were near zero. When money is cheap, companies prioritize growth over profit. They hire thousands of engineers not because they have work for them today, but because they might need them tomorrow. During the pandemic, this went into an overdrive. Tech companies doubled their headcounts. But when interest rates rose, the faucet turned off. Suddenly, efficiency mattered more than growth. A huge chunk of the layoffs that we are seeing now, it's a correction. It's a hangover after a 10-year party. Companies had to cut costs to survive. They needed to fire people. And firing's bad. It looks like your company is failing. Unless you blame it on innovation. Now this is the AI cover story. If a CEO says, we are firing 10,000 people because we managed our finances poorly, the stock price would crash. But if the same CEO says, we are reducing headcount to move towards an AI-first future, the stock price would shoot up. Now, let's look at the other side, the hype. That is generative AI. tools that can write functions, debug errors, and even build an entire app in seconds. Or at least, that's the story we are choosing to believe. But is that really true? Take Klarna, for example. They famously cut 700 customer support reps to lean hard into AI. And it sounded like the future, but they missed a very important step. Customer satisfaction dropped and they had to rehire. They treated AI like a layoff button, a mistake that 55% of the companies now regret. AI isn't a replacement for the worker. It's a replacement for the task that the worker is supposed to do. And when you fire people, you let go of the context, the judgment, and the quality control that the worker is supposed to do. However, and this is the important part, just because companies are regretting it today does not mean jobs are going to come back tomorrow. The reality is that AI makes a person more efficient than they are. If I can use AI to write code 50% faster, my company wouldn't need to hire 2 more developers. They just need me. So, this is not about replacing humans with robots. It's about replacing 3 humans with 1 human who knows how to use that robot. So, where does that leave us? Companies aren't hiring people to just learn the basics anymore. They're hiring people who can start contributing from the day one. The floor itself has moved up. If your skills are average, something that AI can already replicate, you're no longer competing with another graduate. You're competing with the machine, and that's the risk. But there is a much more optimistic way to look at this. Think back to the farmers. We didn't invent the tractor so we could work less. We invented so we could do much more. So that's exactly where we are heading. The demand for new ideas and solutions isn't going anywhere. We are just raising the bar what one person can deliver. Soon you wouldn't need an army of engineers that would build a whole global company. We are going to see a wave of many smaller companies run by tiny teams of 2 or 3 people using AI to do the work of 100. Yes, the era of average worker is ending, but for the worker who knows how to use AI, there is no longer a ceiling. We are already seeing many new roles that didn't exist a decade ago, from prompt engineers to supervisors who train and oversee these intelligent systems. Whole new career paths are being created around building, refining, and governing this technology. AI isn't going anywhere. Trying to fight it is like fighting the calculators that was once invented. But that doesn't mean that people are going to get pushed away. AI still needs people to tell it what to do, what to focus on, and monitor the quality of the output. So instead of asking, will AI take my job? Ask yourself, if I learn this tool today, what is that one thing that I can do today that was not possible yesterday? The future isn't humans versus machines. It's humans supercharged by machines.